Due to the demonetization of true crime videos on YouTube, I've created a Patreon for those of you who would like to support the channel. The link is in the description below. Get access to ad-free content, early access, and exclusive videos depending on the tier. Thank you so much. Also, we've created a Discord channel for those of you who would like to join the community. Link in the description. Hello and welcome back to another interrogation breakdown. This is the interview of Jhenea Pratt, a 23-year-old whose daughter died after drinking from her sippy cup, which was discovered to have fentanyl in it. A ton of fentanyl. It's not too long, but we're going to break down what we have. Let's dive in, tacticians.
Where did she fall asleep in her bedroom?
Firstly, before anything, smoking in an interrogation room? This was in 2018. I didn't know they allowed smoking in police department interrogation. Also, these poor detectives. Cigarette smoke gives me such a headache, so I would not be able to cope well. The smell would just be awful. I think they're letting her do this because it is an interview where they asked her to come in and not an interrogation where they bring you in without choice. This is also why she has not had her rights read to her. If the police ask you to come in for an interview and you agree, then they don't have to read you your rights, and it's still admissible in court since you chose to give the statement. Personally, I would not suggest obliging to interviews. If detectives want to question you, get a lawyer. It is better to get a professional's help than to try and navigate the criminal justice system on your own. Always ask for a lawyer. Even innocent people get convicted. Okay, now let's really get started.
She came and got up on the couch with me.
Mm-hmm. You guys took a nap?
We barely fell asleep. By the time I was actually, dozing off, Miss Vernon was knocking at the door.
Okay, and at that time you put her in her bedroom or left her on the couch?
At this time, I had picked her up because she was laying with me on the couch. I'm not sure if she was on top of me or beside me at that point.
Yeah.
I picked her up and I laid her on the couch, and I opened the door and I came to get her off the couch and I put her in her bed.
Okay. Did she eat or drink anything?
The detective is being very careful with how he phrases questions. He changes it from, "Did you?" I'm assuming he was going to say, "Give your daughter anything to eat or drink." And he changes it to, "Did she?" This helps distance the suspect from the cause of death, since the cause of death was ingesting fentanyl through the sippy cup. "Did you give her something?" makes Jhenea seem responsible, and her reaction would likely be defensive, whereas "did she?" helps shift blame, making her more comfortable to keep speaking with the detectives.
My boyfriend told me he made fish sticks and I want to say like French fries or something.
Okay, now, that was earlier in the day when you guys got back. Did she eat or drink anything?
No, she didn't eat or drink anything. She had left her, he said she didn't want her sippy cup before they walked out the door to come and get me. So he left the sippy cup there.
Which sippy cup was that?
To my knowledge, it should have been the pink one.
The pink sippy cup?
Mm-hmm.
And where was that located?
I'm not even sure. I wasn't there.
Wow, she poisons her child and then blames it on her boyfriend. So you know which color sippy cup it is, but you don't know where it was. And you didn't even see it. So how would you know which sippy cup it was? It's not like he would have specifically said, "Oh, it was the pink one that she didn't drink from." He would have just said, "Oh, she didn't drink from her sippy cup." It's almost like you knew there was something wrong with the pink sippy cup, so you needed to make sure that you told the detectives that you were definitely not the last one who touched it, and it was in your boyfriend's hands last. The detectives haven't even told you how your daughter died. Just the way she said, "I think it's the pink one," sounded so suspicious.
Did he have that or did she have it?
It was left.
It was left there.
She didn't want it on the way out the door.
Okay, when you say on the way out the door, you mean?
When they left to come and get me from
okay.
school.
Okay, when you came back, that pink sippy cup, do you remember
I
where it
didn't even
was?
see the sippy cup.
Did you give her the sippy cup at all?
I didn't see the sippy cup.
But that's not what he asked. He asked if you gave it to her. You don't deny giving it to her. You are just trying to make people assume you didn't by saying that you didn't see it. It never looks good when a suspect can't answer the question that's actually being asked.
Okay. Do you remember it being in her bedroom? That sippy cup?
I think I might have found the sippy cup on the way to, I'm not sure. I just remember, I believe, putting the sippy cup in her bed with her.
Okay.
You just said you didn't see it. And he asked if you gave it to her, and you said you didn't see it. But now you are saying somehow you found it and put it in bed with her, which is distancing language. She refuses to say that she gave the sippy cup to her daughter, when that's clearly what she did. It's not like she was tucking the sippy cup in for a nap and her daughter swiped it. She clearly put it in the bed for her child, which would be giving it to her daughter. Unless you were guilty, why else would you not say you gave your daughter her sippy cup? Another note is a normal mother would be distraught at the loss of her child, and you show absolutely no emotions. It's like you're so stressed out trying to appear innocent that you forgot the biggest part is grief, not being calm. This is the most blatantly guilty liar I've seen thus far.
Did you put anything in the sippy cup?
No, there was a red liquid in it.
So not only did you see the cup and give it to your daughter, but you also looked inside it to see the liquid? I wonder why. Maybe because you were adding something? Don't know why else you would open it and look inside, since you can feel the amount of liquid in it by shaking it. I mean, seriously, how dumb does she think everyone is? No one is buying your BS.
And I know we had Huggies.
Yeah, I remember seeing some Huggies in there.
To be more specific, Happy Drink Huggies.
Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you, when you were living, I'm just going to show you the picture. This is, is this the same sippy cup you're thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have put liquid in there earlier in the day?
Yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was that the same sippy cup that you put the liquid in? Was it before you went to school, when you got home from school, or?
I put a different juice drink in there, and she had a complete fit, and she didn't drink it.
Okay.
So how the red liquid got in, he changed her sippy cup when he fed her.
Okay.
Conveniently, the drink you put in was not the same one, and this new red liquid was the one that your boyfriend put in. Uh-huh. Sure.
He said she drank a little bit and threw it.
Okay. Out of that sippy cup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you lived at that address, did you get anything delivered in the mail from overseas?
I had just ordered her entire room from Walmart. I don't know if that came from overseas or not.
Well, Walmart won it. I'm saying, like, did you order anything that maybe that might not have, that might have been out of the ordinary? Any type of anything from a different country?
No, my mother purchased the baby gate that was in her room.
Okay.
I believe she purchased that from Walmart also.
Okay. There would be no reason like you would get any packages, say, from China or from Japan or anything like that?
Like directly from them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. But to your knowledge,
I ordered everything from Walmart.
Okay. So just to be clear, the stuff that was in that sippy cup, you did put in or you did not?
I did not.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any idea? Well, I'm just gonna be blunt to you. Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
So why did CYF tell me hypoxic cardiac arrest?
There weren't lab results then. So I'm going to explain this to you, okay? In that sippy cup was fentanyl. In her blood was fentanyl. We just got these results back. It's the same type of fentanyl that people are overdosing every day in Pittsburgh and dying from. Same exact type. Okay. So I need to know how the fentanyl got in the sippy cup. Because right now it's not an accident. Okay. All right, so scientifically, it's impossible for your daughter to put fentanyl in a sippy cup. Okay. Physically, it's impossible for her to do. Scientifically, that's another story. But right now, that's how she died. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't any other reason other than she overdosed on fentanyl, which is the same fentanyl that people in the streets are dying on every single day. How'd the fentanyl get in the sippy cup, Jhenea?
Just straight fentanyl?
Yeah.
So what is it, like a liquid,
I'm not a scientist. It comes in a liquid form. It comes in a powder form. I'm not exactly sure. But what I am sure of is that fentanyl was put in a sippy cup and there was liquid mixed into it and it was given to Charlotte and that's how she died. So I need to know how that got in there.
I have no knowledge to how fentanyl got in my daughter's sippy cup.
Okay.
Firstly, you have absolutely no reaction, and your questions are dumb. An innocent person would be flipping out. Their child had just been murdered, and they just found out. They certainly wouldn't sit there and fold their arms and ask what form it was in before it was mixed into the drink. Thirdly, she refuses to say Charlotte's name. Jhenea always says she or her, which is distancing language from the person. Ooh, she makes my blood boil.
Because you realize right now this investigation is taking a whole different turn.
Yeah, clearly.
So snarky.
And when someone gives someone something and they die from it, it's a homicide. She was poisoned intentionally.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I've been making complaints to my rent office because I've been smelling a funny smell in my house several times returning back to my house.
Really? A funky smell in your apartment somehow became fentanyl, which then mixed into your daughter's sippy cup and poisoned her. Like, come on. You can't believe the detectives are going to indulge in that bullshit for 1 second. Don't be absurd.
This is since you've moved, or
No, this is living in apartment number 5.
this is where you used to live? You're
Yes.
saying? Okay. Well, that still wouldn't explain how it got in the sippy cup.
Well, I'm just as clueless as you are. So are you implicating that I put fentanyl in my child's sippy cup?
No, but based on this timeline, I mean, there's only 2 people that could have put fentanyl in the sippy cup. Based on what you just told me about 10 minutes ago. And based on the whole timeline of that day. I need to know how it got in there. Because this investigation is not going away.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I returned to my house from being picked up from school And I did nothing out of the usual.
Okay.
We took our stuff off, and she ran around and played, and I'm waiting for my social worker to come.
Okay. Do you get fentanyl delivered from China?
I don't know anything about fentanyl.
Okay. Did you ever put anything in her sippy cup other than Huggy
No.
juice?
She's drank water. She's drank milk. She's drank Kool-Aid, liquids.
But have you ever put anything in there?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Other than,
I mean, because some parents will give their kids a little bit of, Benadryl or something like that, so they can.
no, that doesn't go in a sippy cup because it's supposed to be measured out, and Benadryl's not supposed to be drank. Tylenol's not supposed to be drank over specific amount of hours. It's supposed to be one dose, and that's it.
Right, I agree with you. But parents.
I'm not one of those people
Okay.
or parents.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. And it wouldn't be the first time, okay? I'm just asking. But we have a problem right now. Is that safe to say that there's a problem? I mean, I have to figure out how this got in there because your baby can't tell me. Is there a reason someone would want to do that? Is there a reason why fentanyl would be in a sippy cup?
No, there's not. And no, there's not a reason anybody would want to.
Dang, I feel like he should have let it just get uncomfortably silent for a while after asking if it was safe to say there was a problem. He looked like she was going to answer if he had just given her longer. It should have been an immediate, of course there's a problem. My baby was murdered. That's a huge problem. Her not answering that speaks volumes. It appears to me that there is no problem for her because Charlotte was her problem and she already took care of her problem. What do you guys think?
The amount of fentanyl that was in her system was extremely high. Okay? It was very high. And that's essentially when she drank the sippy cup. Whenever she picked that sippy cup off the bed, it was absorbed very quickly. And once she swallowed it, she didn't have much time to survive.
That's not possible because I didn't physically see her with her sippy cup, and we were at home. I was with her.
I don't know if you remember, but just a little bit earlier, you did indeed say you put the sippy cup in the bed with her, which would be you seeing her with the sippy cup. So your story is a bit inconsistent here.
I can't tell you the exact time frame, but when I got home, because I went to the welfare office a little bit as soon as I left school, there's no possible way.
Well, that sippy cup I showed you that picture of, that's the sippy cup that had it in it. Okay. I'm going to step out for a little bit, let you think about this.
There's nothing to think about.
Okay, well, I need to step out anyway. All right. But that's why I brought you here, was to tell you exactly what happened and what we found. And, I mean, it wasn't really me, but it was, scientists and, people at the lab that discovered all this, medical examiners, doctors.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No.
Are there any more questions?
I just want to know how it got in there. That's the big question.
I don't know how it got in there. This is news to me like it's news to you.
If you had to guess how it got in there, is there any way, any guess you could have?
A manufacturing issue with the happy drinks?
So you think it could have been the Huggy?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I took a sip of those Huggies and I actually it didn't really have a pleasing taste to it.
We tested the Huggies.
Mm.
No fentanyl.
So what are you implying?
I'm asking. I'm just asking straight up how it got in there.
And I'm telling you straight up, I have no clue how I got it.
No clue. Is this something your boyfriend would have done?
He has kids of his own. Why would he hurt my child?
Well, there's. Did anyone else have access to the apartment?
Maintenance people, the people who run the place.
So other than the maintenance people and people that run the place, the only person that has access to it is you and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Was any maintenance people in there recently?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Was anyone in your house that uses heroin?
I wouldn't know what people's personal drugs they use.
But to your knowledge,
No.
did you have any people in your house that use heroin?
No.
Do you use heroin?
No.
Does your boyfriend use heroin?
No.
Other than smoking weed, do you do any other drugs?
No.
All right. Well, it's my job to find out how this got in there. Okay, at this point. And this isn't going to go away. This investigation is not going away until I find out.
When you
Okay?
find out, you let me know.
I definitely will. I
Any
definitely
further
will.
questions?
You already told me she was acting fine. She wasn't sick. You guys got home, you take a nap, you fall asleep together on the couch. Social or the Urban League lady comes, you take her into her bedroom. She falls asleep in there, Urban lady leaves.
She was asleep before I put her
Oh, she
in
was still
bed.
asleep. She stayed asleep, Urban lady left. And you went to check on her, and that's when you found she was unresponsive. And there was the pink sippy cup on her bed. And you called 911. Police showed up first, and then the medics. Correct?
I don't know who showed up first, honestly.
Okay.
That's probably the only honest thing she said this whole time.
I really want to know why your baby had that large amount of fentanyl in her.
I would too.
I would too? Don't you mean you do too? Because right now you're implying that you already know, since you would only want to know too if you didn't know already. At least that's how I interpreted it.
I mean, she was enough to kill a very large animal.
There's no way my daughter could have got into any type of fentanyl.
I agree with you. I agree. I think someone, just like a bartender, mixes up a drink, put it in that sippy cup. It's the only possible way it could have got in there.
Is there any more questions, officer, detective?
She clearly just wants this over and just showed up because she felt like she had to. Oh my gosh, the lack of caring is insane. How could anyone be this callous about the death of their own child unless they were the one who orchestrated it? Disgusting.
Do you agree with me?
I'm not agreeing because who would do that to a child?
That's I
There's
a
no
really
possible way any
really
of
messed
that
up
could have
person. Really messed up person would do that.
There's no possible way.
Well, got in there somehow. And the amount of fentanyl she had could have killed probably 2 horses. that was in her system. Okay?
Any more questions?
No.
Am I under arrest?
No.
Can I go?
Sure.
Jhenea was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child. Somehow, the jury decided against both first and third-degree murder. How? The fentanyl didn't pour itself into the cup. That's more than just a careless mistake. That had to have happened on purpose. I don't understand how the jury only convicted on such a light charge. Jhenea is only going to serve 5 to 10 years in prison. Her daughter wouldn't even be a teenager if she got the max time. How do you get less time in prison than it would take for your child to grow up? Honestly, basically, she killed her kid to avoid having to raise her and got rewarded for it. It would have been 16 and a half years left to raise her child to be 18. Or 5 to 10 years to do the time for involuntary manslaughter. That doesn't seem like a just punishment. I firmly believe Jhenea should have gotten at least 20 years. But I would have given her life. It does not seem like justice has been done here. I'm extremely disappointed with this sentence. How do you guys feel? Huge shout out to our Patreon producers, Jason Harrison Taz, Skylar James Wicker, and The Endless. I just want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon members, as you make it possible for me to upgrade my equipment and provide lots of great ideas for next videos. Thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe for more interrogation breakdown and true crime videos to come. If you have a suggestion, leave it in the comments below. Thanks and have a wonderful day.